How's it going, folks, and welcome back to Park 2 Primera. Now, this is normally the point where there's some kind of intro. I've got a confession. I woke up this morning very hungover after the England game. I went to see it at Wembley, an incredible experience. But I've been hungover all day, so there's no intro. My voice is really hurting. I've delayed it as late as I can. It's now almost 11 p.m. It's a late night recording session. Hopefully the players are wide awake. Let's see how we get on today, shall we? So hello and welcome back. It's episode number 16 of Park 2 Primera. Today, we've got a huge game. We are taking on Real Madrid or Castilla. It's not the real Real Madrid, unfortunately. Maybe one day it will be, but not yet. We're going to be taking on Castilla. They are Real Madrid's B team, for people who don't know. Their key player is Renier here. He is... he's quite good. He's kind of the long and short of it. Shall we compare him to Pablo? I feel like this could be an error. Where are you? Torre, he's down at the bottom. Yeah, a bit of a gap in quality between the two teams today. So since we were last here, we have actually played 7 games in the league. We've had a really good start to the season, and as you can see by the league table, we are currently in 3rd. And before we get too carried away and we start talking about promotion or anything like that, there's realistic hat. Put it on, everyone. We've not played the teams around us. We've not played the teams towards the top that much just yet. Besides Zaragoza, actually, who we have played. And while speaking of those games since you were last here, of course, we started our season off with a win away from home. That was great. Unfortunately, didn't do so hot in our first game at home. We lost against Malaga 2-0 in this game. 67% of possession, a 2.62 XG as well. Those stats don't matter because we didn't score. So in this first game against Malaga, we went a goal down after 25 minutes. Not a very good start. To be fair to Malaga, they played some really good football throughout this. It seemed like we dominated possession, had a lot of chances, but didn't see many highlights. Whereas when they had the ball, they worked it around nicely. They also scored a penalty. That, however, is our only defeat in the last 8. And while since that defeat, we've gone on a really, really good run of form. A draw against Zaragoza was a really great away performance. Zaragoza currently 2nd in the league. They've not dropped many points. Pablo Torre scored early. They got an early equaliser. And from there, a game that looked like it could be a classic, it kind of fizzled out a little bit, unfortunately. Well, into the month of September we went. You can see here the highlight of these games, 6-3. Against Barcelona's B team. They took the lead inside 3 minutes. I thought, oh my word, it's going to be one of those days. 20 minutes later, it was 4-1. It was absolutely insanity. They pipped us back a couple of times. Mujica, on off the bench he came, and on off the bench he had an impact. He had a goal that was disallowed, and then he had 2 further goals that were given. He's had a really, really good start to the season. Of course, last episode, I was talking about the fact that he was probably dropping out the first team this year, wasn't going to play so much. He's got 9 goals this season. He's been in insane form. As you can see here, 4 starts, 2 appearances on off the bench. That is across 8 league games. And, well, as of late, he's been doing quite well. 9 goals in his last 5. So in the rest of September, we got a draw against Marbella, a draw against Valencia's B team. 2 good away points, I think, in kind of the grander scheme of things. Against Eibar, we won 3-1. Mujica grabbed a hat-trick. And then, in the very next game, we scored 3 goals again, all by Mujica again. Back-to-back hat-tricks for this man. You can bet your bottom dollar he's starting today. And yeah, he was absolutely superb yet again. Elsewhere, Cabanzon slotted into the team. There's been a couple of positions in the team that have rotated around a little bit due to injury. Bicho, he signed a new contract. We were happy. He was happy. Everyone was happy. Then he got injured. So, yeah, it's been a bit of a free-for-all for the left attacking mid position. Cabanzon, though, kind of laying his claim to the throne, I suppose. In terms of where that leaves us right now, as I've already mentioned, we are in 3rd. It's very, very close at the top. A defeat here could see us drop down, I think, as low as 10th. So yeah, we're not getting too carried away just yet, as much as I would love to be able to do that. You can see here, Mujica top of the goal-scoring charts. Pablo Torre, 3 player of the matches. He has been running the show from centre attacking mid. A 7.49 rating for him. 5 assists. Interestingly enough, Herrero, yeah, he's been very good. Of course, Lopez was expected to be the starting left-back this year. I really thought it'd be his thing to do. And then he got injured towards the start of the season. Minor injury, 3 weeks out, wasn't going to miss that many games. I gave Tony a chance, and then I've not really looked back. And I feel a bit bad for Lopez because I've handed him a bit of responsibility this year as captain, then I've immediately chucked him to the side. I feel like Andy in Toy Story, you know, when he says, I don't want to play with you anymore. That's me throwing Lopez on the floor. But no, Herrero has been top draw. He's 21 years old, lots of potential. Obviously at 21, it's kind of uncertain how much more he can develop. But on the face of it, he looks like he is a surefire thing to be our starting left back this year and hopefully beyond. He's been good. If you were wondering if there had been any late transfer business, going to burst that bubble early. No, there hasn't been. In fact, the only deal that we have done of note is João Resende has gone out on loan to Pontevedra. Remember them? That team we were dicing with all of last year. Well, going into this season, their prediction was 5th. Last year, of course, they finished 3rd in the league. Very unfortunate not to get promoted. They are struggling right now in mid-table, very mediocre. But the good news for us is Resende's getting regular first-team football. You can see here his determination's going up. That's an effect of their squad personality at Pontevedra, and I'm hoping that, you know, regular first-team football is going to serve him well. Wasn't something I could guarantee him at our team. In the end, I gave him one appearance. He didn't really shine in it. I feel like taking a step down a level is probably best for his development. We'll keep an eye on him. And while looking across the team as a whole, there's been a couple of positions where rotation's been necessary. As I mentioned, Bicho has been out injured. You can see here he got a calf strain, and he in fact got that back on the 17th of September. So we've been about a month without him at this point. As a result, there's been a little bit of rotation needed. Cabanzon impressed me in his last game. We're going to give him the nod again. I feel like with Cabanzon, whenever he plays, I get very, very nervous. He's injury prone. He's had his fair share of injury issues. He's the kind of player who, if he wasn't injury prone, I'd probably be planning a super long-term position in the squad. Given that kind of injury status, I kind of see him as the player that we give game time to. If he shines, maybe we look to sell him on whilst he's hot. Sounds really heartless when I put it like that. Elsewhere in the team, though, you can see rotation's been fairly frequent. There's been a couple of positions in the squad that have had that, one of which has been centre mid, where Pettersson has really been given an extended run in the team. I've probably given him more chances than I should have. You know, you sometimes get players that you bring in and you've got a bit of a soft spot for them. I've definitely got a bit of that with Pettersson. Di Vicente has had his issues with injuries to start the season. He's not been very happy at the club. Didn't impress me in the one game that he played, but, I mean, when you compare him to Pettersson, there's not a world of difference between them. Di Vicente probably going to be coming more into the fray now as he starts to build up some match fitness. Elsewhere in the team now, I've given players opportunities to fulfill that same role in at centre mid, such as Pablo Martinez. As you can see for Pablo, one game, 6.7 rating. That centre mid position, I don't know if it's just this system, I don't know if it's the personnel, maybe it's just the fact that I'm not willing to settle on any one player. The kind of box-to-box midfielder this year has definitely been an area with a question mark over it. I'm looking at it now thinking, Di Vicente's not match sharp, but he probably is our best player. I'm going to put him in the team. If he gets sent off, never play him for us again. Yeah, you heard it here first. In terms of goal scorers, Mahika's got 9. Besides him, Pablo Torre's done well, and Buku's been a little bit hit and miss. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists in 3 appearances, so it's a bit of a harsh criticism. Unfortunately, not long after we left you last time, he got injured as well. Yeah, there's been lots of little injuries, and it's constantly meant that there isn't really a settled 11 at the moment. You know, 8 games into the year, I thought I'd have a much clearer picture of what the best team is for this season. Right now, all that's really certain is Mahika's blooming good. Pablo Torre has to start every game. Everywhere else, it's a bit of a free-for-all. Although, I will say now, Herrero's been great. Reece Williams come into the team at centre-back. He's looked good on a 7.4 rating across 8 games. 2 goals to his name as well. He's looking like a really, really good addition to the squad. Now, of course, there's been quite a lot of turnover in players, so I feel like it's always nice to come and look at the squad dynamics in Football Manager. This year, we brought in a few players. To be fair, the starting 11 hasn't changed too much. It's kind of been the fringes of the team, where I've tried to bring in our own young players to bulk it up. And well, if we look at the hierarchy, you can see here, Lopez, the only real leader in the team. Of course, we had Crespo last year, the goalkeeper who was a real leader. He retired. And well, besides him, it's a little bit of a free-for-all at the moment. Squad personality is a little all over the place. It's a bit of a shame, really, that Lopez isn't playing much for us, but I can't not play Herrero. I do have a concern that Should this guy, stop being a regular player for us, maybe that influence in the dressing room drops down a little bit, even if he is still captain. There's plenty of players waiting in the wings, though, to potentially become more influential. In an ideal world, Bicho, with his 18 determination, he's the man I want to become a leader. I need him back from injury really, really badly. He's just a player that we miss a lot. And well, before we look forward to today's game, let's have a quick look at the finances. They've kind of just leveled out. The debt's actually gone up a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but I'm not going to react too much. If you've played Football Manager and stared at the finances too long, you'll know they kind of go up and down all the time. You can't really look at things on a week-to-week basis. We need to look at the bigger picture. Give it a month or two and we should have a clearer picture. I guess the main headline here is we're not £3.6 million in debt like we were, and it doesn't look like we are going to be because the TV money is significantly better this year and it is helping to even the books a fair bit. Going into today's game, our opposition is Castilla. I believe they've not lost in their last 22 or 23 games at home. I saw it in one of the news inbox items. Going back to last season, they do pretty well. There's a lot of green here, isn't there? Last season, you can see they were promoted from the same kind of tier that we were in. They were in the division across. They've immediately hit the ground running. They've got a great squad, as you would expect them to have. You can see here. Right now, they are in 6th, only 1 point behind us. It's so close at the top. I feel like we've not played all the big teams around us just yet. But I guess early signs lead me to believe we should be a team fighting for promotion this year, maybe via the playoffs. So with regards to the team news for today's game, nothing too crazy going on in terms of changes. Di Vicente is going to start for us at right centre-back. Williams and Rojas, they're developing a partnership in the middle. Cabanzon's going to play as our trequartista with Pablo Torre and Mbuku on the right. Mexica plays up top, and with him coming into the team, that does mean Kabir goes down to the bench. I've talked about all these players I've been so happy with this year. This man, bloody disappointment. I wanted so much from him. He's let me down. You've let yourself down, Fran. Sit on the naughty bench. Think about what you've done. But anyway, with that all said and done, let's submit our team for today's game. This is going to be tough away from home. A bit of a test, though. Real Madrid's B team, they've got some very, very good players. They've got players like Renier, who we looked at right at the beginning of the episode. Pipi as well. I feel like a load of these players are players I've seen in random YouTube kind of Wonder Kid compilations. We're basically taking on the Wonder Kid 11, I suppose, of Spain. It's going to be a good little challenge. Hopefully, we're going to be able to cause a bit of an upset, avoid defeat. I think if we get a draw here, that would be a great result. Anyway, early on, we have a throw-in. Do not get confused. We are playing in red today, and Mbuku at the back post heads it narrowly over the bar. Good early chance in our favour, though. They're playing a 4-4-2. I feel like this could play into our hands really well, especially because they've got PP at centre mid. They've also got Renier. They are not very defensively minded centre mids. I feel like that is definitely an area where Pablo Torre should get a fair amount of space to exploit and work in. Okay, 1 minute left of the half. Nothing has happened. There's not been a lot of creativity. I'll happily take the Southgate approach, though, in this game. Give us one highlight. Give us one goal. That's all we need. Carrasa on the overlap, inside to Pablo, Mexica and Mbuku. Lovely build-up play. Hits it goalwards. It's actually a really good save by Canizares there. It's the first real time where we've cut them open. Looks like, they're defending well. Or Carrasa, another great tackle. I feel like at right back, he got so many assists for us. Was so vital last year. This year, he's let himself down, and now they're free. We need a save, Machado, and we're not going to get one. For a second, I believed Machado was going to do it. For a second, I thought the highlight was over. I thought when we had our chance, you know what? I'll nil at half-time, that'll be fine. Football Manager's had other ideas. Ranier with the ball through, and then Latassa takes it. Machado was on a 7.0. He won't be on a 7.0 now. That looked questionable. But anyway, at the break, you can see here a game that's had not many chances. They've had the better of the play, to be fair to them, which you'd almost expect. I'm going to tell the players I expect a much better performance, though. Earlier on in the year, maybe I would have been happy with this. Judged on what I've seen in the last 8 games, I've got higher aspirations than I had previously. We need to step it up. And in fact, I'm going to make an early change here. I'm going to take off Cabanzon and I'm going to bring in Cedric. We're going to play Cedric out on the right. I'm actually going to change him, though, from being a trequartista to an inside forward on attack. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that with Bicho out injured, we don't really have a natural left-sided player to just slot in and be as good. And we definitely have missed that creativity in this game here. 20 minutes left. I'm going to have more chats. So looking at things here, Pablo's had an uncharacteristically bad game. So you know what? We'll bring in Pettersson for him. I think. Actually, no, I've changed my mind. I'm going to bring Mbuku into the middle. He's not the most creative player in the world, but you can see here he is naturally a centre attacking mid. So we'll play him as an advanced playmaker on attack. Bring Kabir into the team, cutting in on his left foot. Mahika's been great for us in the last 2 games. He's not existed today. Yeah, not great. I have got one more sub to make. And I'm going to take off Rafa Di Vicente just because of the injury issues, just because he's coming back from injury. You know what? Ivan, he's not played for us as much, Ivan. Of course, he played that last episode and nearly blew it for us. Ivan, this is your redemption arc, mate. You're coming on in this game. You're going to get us the goal. Going to just go a little bit more direct and switch to attacking with our mentality as well. Let's try and get into them. We've got 16 minutes to try and turn it around. I want to shout demand more, but I'm not able to. There is, however, a highlight, a chance. Just Andy comes flying in. Ivan with it to Mbuku. Now playing down the middle, not an area of the pitch we've tried him in yet. Kabir on off the bench. Talked about my disappointment. And Mbuku blocked. Oh my word, Frank Kabir. He's sat on the naughty bench. He's thought about what he's done. He's come on off the bench and just done that. I can't believe it. I can't work out if my difficulty getting words out here is just due to excitement of seeing him score or the fact that my voice is really sore today. What a finish that is, though. And you know what? 12 minutes left. I'm staying on the front foot. We're going for it. Corner here for us. It's going to be Carassa to take it. Reece Williams is a giant in these situations, and he's under it. Headed away, though. We still have a chance. Carassa. Options in the middle. Back post. Kabir hits the post. He almost got his second on off the bench. Looking like an inspired change on the far side. Not much more I think we want to change here. We're looking good. They've got their backs against the wall. Bit of a personnel change, trying to get the ball forward a bit more quickly. Seems to be doing the trick. I say all of that. 3 minutes left. Another highlight. Is all action at the end. Much like the last episode, to be honest. And Mbuku, though, bringing it forward to us. One man over to his left. Could go right. Mahika's there. Frank Kabir threaded through. He's in on goal. Can he finish it? He can't. He could have had a hat-trick. That shot just wide of the post. And with 4 minutes left, we're going into another highlight. What is happening? Just Andy Herrero. He plays it forward. Of course, he's capable of an assist. Not with passes like that, though. He fails to find his man. Now it's with them. I mean, it'd be a cruel blow now if Castilla go and get a goal in this game and secure the win for themselves. I feel like we've grown into this game so much. We've had the chances. It's a huge tackle, but it falls to Pippi, who's going to play it through to Machado. I mean, there's 210 seconds left here of this match. Ball launched forward, dealt with well by them. Renier now bringing the ball forward. He's got a man to his right. He might just go on his own. And well, I'm quite glad he went on his own. That effort was awful. And I'll take the draw now. I'm happy with a draw, I think. Crazy game. Very fortunate. We've got to acknowledge that. In the grand scheme of things, we are very lucky to get a point there. Frank Kabir has ended up being our best performer. He came on off the bench. I think that says a lot. Also, we crap on him quite a lot, but Machado in that game had 10 shots against him, saved 9 of them. That's not that bad. And all in all, I think that is a good little comeback that avoids defeat, and it certainly keeps us in the playoff contention. You can see here with that result, we have slipped down to 5th. It's still very close at the top, although the 2 teams ahead of us. In fact, actually, Albacete drew. Did Zaragoza win? They did win. So there is a little bit of a gap now between us and the automatic promotion spots. As I mentioned earlier, it's very early days this season. Truth be told, if we can be challenging for the playoffs at the end of the year, that would be a massive win. I would love, before we get to that point, to have worked out what my best 11 is and have a settled 11 where I've not got a load of injuries to deal with. I mean, Kabir putting in a performance like that on off the bench, I now have a new headache to deal with. Do I move Mbuku around? Do I play him on the left? Do I bring in Kabir? I feel like I've got a Rubik's Cube and I need to get the 6 red bits, on one side, except there's like 12 red bits and I don't know how I'm going to fit them all in. That was an awful analogy, wasn't it? But anyway, gang, that is going to wrap up everything from me today. Again, apologies for the lack of an intro. My voice, you might be able to hear it. It's been better. I've not got my full range, but I hope you've enjoyed this episode nevertheless. We will be back again next time. I'm not sure who we're going to play yet. I'm going to leave it up to suspense. We'll see what's happening. It may be that we come back in December, maybe late November. Does it matter? what does matter is I'll see you then. That's the most important thing. Right, I really am done now. I'm just rambling. I'm talking for the sake of it, and today's not the day to do that. Thank you for watching. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed. I will see you guys again tomorrow. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.